Hello and welcome to the deck profile for my Genesis deck. Here in this video, I'm gonna talk about, well, the cards I have in the deck and then like some combos I have for the deck. But in the end of the video, you'll have a faster view of the deck. So let's get started. Starting Vanguard, Laden. Basically put into Soul, and then when something is Soul Blasted, call that to rear for free via this skill. Via his skill. So if ever you have the chance to snipe him out. Like if you're Grand Blue or Brawler, Kagura, or anything like that, have fun killing him. Then 4, Fenrir. Fenrir's GB2 skill is to Soul Blast 3 when this unit attacks a Vanguard, gets a crit, and you can only use zeros. So if your opponent doesn't have any zeros in hand, well, good luck. The On-Stride skill is to Soul Charge 3. And then if you Soul Blast a unit, pay the cost, counterblast 1, and call a card to rear. It's really useful, especially if you need to build a field. And if you have no rear guards, well, get started. Then you have 4, Minerva. Minerva is a limit break card, and it's really helpful when you're fighting against someone who likes to play the grade 2 game. You can be like, you're not going to stay grade 2, and you're low in hand. Let's finish you off. So yeah, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 3, discard 3 cards from your hand. At the end of the unit of this battle, unit attack, you pay the cost, stand it again, plus 5. There's a cross-ride ability if you run the break ride, but I'm not running it. Anyway, my opponents don't last long enough to let me even use a break ride, so yeah. 4, Chamomile. Skill is Soul Blast it, Counterblast 1, call it to rear. Very useful if you don't have a rear card. So if ever, for instance, you have Fenrir, you don't have to pay the Counterblast to call this because this will call itself. Then if you need if you need columns to launch multiple attacks with Minerva, since it only uses one Counterblast, you can use a second one to call this baby. Then launch more attacks. Oh yeah. Then for the if boosted unit. It is not a once per turn card, so you can spam it multiple times if you need to. Otherwise I don't recommend it. It's Counterblast 1, if the unit's boosted, Soul Charge 3. Something has a Soul Blast, then you draw a card. If nothing Soul Blast, you can't draw a card. Then 4 of these beauties. The plus 1k cards. Generation Break 1, Soul Blast 1, and you get plus 1k. No, for each Soul Blast, my bad, you get plus 1k. This really helps if ever pressure the opponents, especially if you know you have draw stand triggers in the deck. Oh yeah. Then you have the grade 1 version of it, where it gets plus 1k for each card Soul Blasted when you have Generation Break 1. Then 3 Melissas, which when Soul Blasted, Counterblast 1, call it to rear, just like Chamomile. And it really helps, like I said earlier, build columns, or for attacking, not for power columns, not yet. Then 4, Stride Fodder. Then 4, PGs. Unflippers, of course. Then 4 heals. 4, Dreaming Dragon. Skill. When this unit's on rear, place it at the top of the deck. Then put all the cards from drop onto deck. If you have 10 or more, draw a card. Then Kukuruhime. From your guard, put into Soul, plus 3 to anyone. Then 4 regular crits. Of course, we're gonna swap these out when we get the new support. But yeah, of course, you're gonna need to use those, so you can get a plus 5 in draw. Then 2, Dion. Skill, Soul Blast 3. When attack hits, look at the top 3, draw 1, put the rest into Soul. So you basically just lose, like 2 cards. You basically lose 1 card in the Soul. But this is actually okay as a first stride. It's not Regalia specific, so yeah, you can use it in Fenrir. Then 2, Doom Brace. The beauty about Doom Brace is that you can pair it off with the grade 2 and the grade 1 plus 1k cards. Since if ever, for instance, you have those two and you stride, let's say you put Fenrir, Soul Charge 3, Fenrir skill, then Soul Blast 3 via Doom Brace's skill, then these two can get plus 8 instead of plus 3 or +5. But the +5 part, if ever you have Fenrir in Soul, if you call something via Fenrir skill, you can give that +5 instead of the 2 +1k cards. So you can get +3, +3, +5, and then let's say +5 if you have another card in the other open rare card. Then if there are 2 or less cards in the Soul charge 3. Then you have 4 of these babies. Venagandar. It was beautiful in its day and is still beautiful today. Skill, Soul Blast 6. Unflip a copy when this unit attacks the Vanguard. Look at the top 4 cards of the deck. And keep any that you want on top of the deck in any order, else in the bottom.